5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
This is the Culture Clash.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of Culture Clash here on the Fandom Podcast Network. We got a great show. It's been a little bit. We've been on the run from some dinosaurs. We'll explain that here shortly. But on our trails of running away from dinosaurs, we didn't get a chance to talk about some things we love that's come out this summer. Yes, we had our Summer Spectacular episode a few weeks back, but there's been some more things coming out. We were running a little behind. So welcome to the Fandom Podcast Network Culture Clash Summer Fandom Spectacular Part 2. And you know what? I needed to bring in somebody to help me out with this. He's been on the run for some dinosaurs too. He might know a few interesting things as well and seen some interesting things, but I know he's always got a good take. He's my brother from another mother. He's another year older too. I'm wiser. We're still debating on that, but it's the one and only Mr. Kevin Reitzel.
What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to be back on the Culture Clash or the Clash.
Yeah, it is good to be back. We got a big show. You know, Kevin, first of all, I just got to say we had a great couple episodes of Culture Clash, and just give a shout out to Luke Sparks, Blair, and everybody involved with Primitive War.
Not
Luke
plural.
Spark.
It's Spark, yes.
Luke Spark, you are correct. And everybody who just gave us an amazing support in our coverage of Primitive War. Phenomenal.
It started with Blair because Blair's friends with Luke, and they know each other from the Star Wars era, Star Wars fan base there in the Gold Coast and in Brisbane area of Australia. And if you haven't seen it already, check it out. Check out Primitive War. It's available on digital soon. It's having a limited theatrical run around the world, and we had Luke on as a special guest as a two-part special look at Primitive War. And Luke is gracious enough with his time to give us an exclusive interview. And we just kind of chatted up, you know. Of course, we talked about the movie, but we had to talk about his first love, which is Star Wars, and some other nerdy things. And then we had Blair and also Adam on to give their thoughts on the film on our first part of the Primitive War. And Blair actually has an extra part. He was in the film, and you can't miss him. He's in the film. And it was good to talk with Adam about it as well, who is also the host of our Lethal Mullet podcast on the Fandom Podcast Network, our 80s, 90s, and action films and beyond. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of the Fandom Podcast Network, what's this? Well, it is a QR code on your screen. If you scan that QR code, if you're watching on YouTube, it will take you to our main homepage where we have all of our wonderful audio podcasts, our full catalog, 10 plus years of podcasting all in one place. There's some great stuff there. So scan the QR code, check some things out. It's going to be a lot of fun for you, we promise. But we are about to hit the spoiler territory. We're going to be talking about a lot of things in fandom, including a lot of things we've watched and we've seen. Kevin, I know it was your birthday here a few days ago. Would you like to push the birthday button?
Yes, please.
You do that well still. So, guys, you know, we've got all kinds of things happening on Culture Clash. Of course, we're going to be talking the latest in fandom news. We got a ton of buy it, stream it, or unsee it this week. And before we get even with that, let's talk about things that have just arrived and might be coming soon on the Fandom Podcast Network. And, of course, this is part 2 of the Summer Fandom Spectacular, but we did do part 1, Kevin. We covered a lot of things that came out in the earlier part of summer, including Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth, F1, Fantastic Four, Naked Gun, Old Guard 2. So many great movies. This has been really a great summer to return to the films. A lot of blockbuster films so far this summer, Kevin.
Yeah, and a lot of good streamers too, like Old Guard. You know, that I wish I could have seen it in the theater. But yeah, it was a good run at the movies. Probably not one of the best ones, but definitely it feels like people are flocking back to the movie theaters, which we like to see.
Yes, we do. And we mentioned it at the top of the show. Check out our most recent 2 episodes, our Primitive War specials. Blair joined us for episode 282 to talk about the movie and give our reviews and thoughts. And Luke Spark, the amazing director of this film, and I think he's got big things ahead. Came on and gave us a more than enough time for a great interview with him. I mean, this is a busy guy. He's handing out posters at movie events. He at this time he showed up. He had just landed back in Australia from traveling, so he was very generous with the time, and we can't thank him enough.
I also want to mention too, if you want to see some more of his earlier work, you can check out his IMDb, and a lot of his stuff's available on other streaming platforms for free. Like I know Tubi has some stuff, as well as Amazon. But I wanted to mention this little two-part occupation sci-fi alien invasion movies he's got going on. He did Occupation first, and then Occupation Rainfall. Fun movies. What happens when alien invasion happens in and around Sydney, and what people do to band together to fight against the aliens. And definitely has a Luke Spark feel to it. Make sure you check it out.
Real quick too, I believe those movies have a little bit of a Star Wars connection too, don't they, Kevin?
Yeah, Tamora Morrison, as we know, Jango Fett and Boba Fett has a part in them. So yeah.
And just a shout out to both Primitive War and Luke's other film, Scurry, will be making their U.S. debut on streaming services in October. So
yes,
pay attention to that. But as we looking at more films, it is time to go through the time warp, and we've been hitting the movies of 1990. Kevin, July was so big between movies and TV, we had to break it into 2 months.
Yeah, we had the boom of the summer TV shows that normally TV shows are reruns in the summertime, but we had a bunch of new shows pop up during the summertime. It started a trend.
Yeah, I'm going to blame the 2-part episode. I'm going to blame it on the rain. And of course, we just recently released August, which was a very interesting month with a very strange mix of films, from Darkman to Young Guns 2 to Pump Up the Volume, which apparently started podcasting, to Flatliners to Shrimp on the Barbie. Did you have some before you started the podcast, Kevin?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. We will be bringing out September very soon as well.
Hold on. Speaking of September, I want to give a little tease because I've been going through the movies, and we don't have the cover art yet here. But I'm going to nickname September 1990 Gangster Month, and it starts off with Goodfellas right here. One of the best gangster films of all time. And then we got State of Grace, a great gangster film with Gary Oldman, Ed Harris, and Sean Penn. And we got one of my favorites, King of New York, with Christopher Walken. It is a really, really good gangster film here. And one of the classics from the Coen brothers, we got Miller's Crossing. And then one of the most gangster movies of all time, we got Postcards from the Edge, based off of Carrie Fisher's novel right there. So,
hey,
Kyle,
don't mess with Meryl, man. Don't mess with Meryl.
But I just want to mention there is a movie that I'm really happy to talk about because it's kind of a lost rom-com, a Steve Guttenberg film that people don't talk about anymore. It's called Don't Tell Her It's Me, with Jamie Gertz and Shelley Long and Kyle MacLachlan. In other cities and countries, though, it's called The Boyfriend School. So we're going to talk about that as well.
Hey,
I actually saw that in the theater when it came out.
Was that Guttenberg with a mullet?
Yes.
Yes. The times. Well, guys, also coming out, we have our Couch Potato Theater, which, of course, is all those great films that you just can't turn off your cable. But we're doing something very special right now with Couch Potato Theater. We are doing a Canon Films retrospective. If you grew up in the 80s, you know exactly what it means when you see that Canon Films logo on your screen. We have had some great times with this series so far, including the first ever Couch Potato Theater double feature with American Ninja 1 and American Ninja 2, The Confrontation. Firewalker. And Kevin, are you still eating pizza with scissors? Because we talked
always do. And this is what we have coming up next. We got Invasion USA with Chuck Norris. That's going to be next on the celebrating the 80s Canon film retrospective. One of my favorite Chuck Norris films of all time, Invasion USA.
I do have to ask, you're not eating from the same pizza that you were eating from the podcast. Please at least tell me that.
No.
Okay. I'd be a little worried. Of course, too, Kevin, we just wrapped up the current season of Strange New Worlds over at the Union Federation podcast. All of season 3. Some mixed reactions to this season, but overall, another fun season of Strange New Worlds.
Yes, and I did want to tease, too. We had a great time talking about that. The full cast was on, cast of the Union Federation, that is, to talk about the season finale of season 3. But we want to tease next week. We're going to be diving into our Q episodes from 1987 to 2001, which reaches from 87, which is, of course, Encounter at Farpoint, all the way through his appearances through TNG, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. We're going to do a limited 12-part episode series on the Q episodes. We're really looking forward to that. And it all comes from this Star Trek Q fan collective DVD collection that was released in 2007.
Kevin, I do have a question. If you were given the power of the Q, whose ego would be more out of control, yours or Riker?
Oh, mine, I'm sure. Yeah.
You'd be changing. Would you make it to where Highlander the Source never happened?
Oh, I'd be making lots of changes. Yeah, I'd be controlling some Star Wars destiny. I'd be doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, sort of things might have not have happened. But Kevin, you also did something pretty amazing on the Hair Metal podcast. You guys covered an amazing concert that was a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. And unfortunately, shortly after you recorded this podcast is when Ozzy himself passed away from his Parkinson's disease. But you guys did a wonderful show that also, in a way, was a little bit of a tribute to Ozzy as well.
Yeah, we had a really good show talking about this concert right here. Just wanted to show the Blu-ray that I got. It's back to the beginning. And this particular Blu-ray shows the whole show as it was originally streamed. But we got some interesting news too, was that there's a new documentary coming out on Paramount Plus, new Ozzy documentary that basically showcases him more recently. And I think it's going to lead up to that concert and his eventual passing away. That's going to be October 7th, I remember. So make sure you check that out. And we are planning on doing our Ozzy tribute show. And we're going to have a gentleman on that was actually at that concert. He's a friend of my co-host, Michael Simmer. And we're looking to get Johnny K back on him out and just talk about our favorite moments of Ozzy Osbourne, and also maybe the thoughts on the documentary that comes out. And of course, all of the big, as you see, all of the big magazines are doing Ozzy tributes here. I have one with Rolling Stone and one with Newsweek. So there's a lot to cover about him that we'll be discussing that. So yeah.
Yeah, a tragic loss, but he is a legend. But speaking of legends, one of our own here, Dan Hadley, of course, the host of our Type 40 Doctor Who podcast, he also has the Spacebook, and we've been having a little crossover with the Spacebook as Alien Earth has been going on. He's been conducting an alien watch. I've been able to join him on several episodes. Kevin, I know you've done an episode. He is covering all things Alien Earth, and he is doing it brilliantly. Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a good group of people on there. We've guested on there. He's got some regulars, and this series is going along and wrapping up well. We've got one more episode left.
And he is still cranking out episodes of Type 40, even though it looks like Doctor Who might be on a break for a bit. There's still plenty to talk about, so definitely check out the Type 40 podcast as well. And finally, Kevin, I did a little way back trip with the Lethal Mullet himself. We went not to the 90s, not to the 80s. We went to the 70s, Kevin. But we dove into a Disney sci-fi classic, The Black Hole.
Wasn't that like 78, 79, close enough to the 80s, you know?
Actually, it was just after Star Wars. There's some real interesting history with this movie about how it was actually in development like 10 years prior to when it was originally released. And it finally got released. It sat on the shelf for a long time and finally got released after picking up on the Star Wars buzz. But if you watch this movie...
It was 79. Yep.
Yeah. If you watch this movie, it feels like it's a movie that came out pre-Star Wars, that was actually filmed pre-Star Wars, because science fiction was changed so much after Star Wars. But I just have one thing I need to shout out here. Adam, of course, is famous for putting our images into photos and covers. Did he really need to make me the guy that Maximilian took little saw blades to in the middle of the film and performed a little...
He made me the villain, so I don't know what you're complaining about.
Yeah, at least, well, at least you got the hair. Had a ton of fun doing that with the Lethal Mullet. Check that out on the network. Well, guys, we've had a lot of fun, but it's time to dive into our summer Fandom Spectacular Part 2, and we're going to do that with a little Let's News.
Let's News!
Yeah, we've got a little bit of news hanging around there, but Kevin, my news of the week, and this just puts me in a very happy place. An announcement that kind of came out of nowhere, but Marvel has greenlit a third season of Daredevil Born Again, which will begin shooting in 2026. Brad Weinderbaum, head of streaming television and animation at Marvel Studios, told IGN of the series renewal in an interview this week following earlier confusion over whether the project would wrap up after its sophomore run. He is quoted saying, "In terms of Daredevil, yeah, we are greenlit for season 3 and we start shooting next year." Kevin, I'm excited.
This is ahead of the release of season 2, which is great because we haven't seen season 2 yet.
Yeah, we will be. I was just gonna say we will probably see season 2. I'm gonna guess probably about the same time we did season 1, March, April of 2026.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's when they usually try to. It'd be nice if they would maybe drop it sooner, like during the holidays or something. But yeah, no, that's good. We really enjoyed season 1. We covered it on our True Believers MCU and Superhero Fandom Group podcast. So yeah, we're really excited. We'll be covering this as well. So yeah.
Well, what I'm really hoping for is when 2026 rolls around, Vincent D'Onofrio gets a well-deserved Emmy nomination for playing the Kingpin.
Yeah, and other questions are out there. I mean, where will these characters be in any of the films, if any? So I'm kind of curious if are they just going to kind of stay street level into the TV series? Kind of curious.
Well, we also know already that Jessica Jones is coming back in season 2 of Daredevil, and there's some rumors that we might see Luke Cage as well. So they are bringing back some more of those Netflix heroes. So I am incredibly excited for this. I love Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I love D'Onofrio as the Kingpin. This is one of the best things Marvel has done, whether it's been on Netflix or Disney Plus. I cannot wait. But yeah. I didn't mention something about Vincent D'Onofrio getting nominated for an Emmy. Well, this year's Emmys just happened, and I'm going to be honest with you, Kevin. This is the first time in a while I was actually pleased with some of the Emmy results because one of my favorite shows of the year won the Emmy for Best Drama Series, and that is The Pit, the medical drama starring Noah Wyle on HBO.
My wife loves that show. I've only seen portions of it, but she has watched it, binged it, loves it. And just real quick before you go into the list of winners here, I didn't know this show was happening until as it was happening or after the fact.
I think I knew about a couple hours before because I started seeing some early red carpet pics, including
wasn't that like opening football weekend too? I mean, it's like I'm not gonna watch the Emmys. It's football weekend. Come on,
Well, I did pull up a few of the bigger categories that tell you the winners. Obviously, The Pit, as I said, won for Best Drama Series. Best Comedy Series was The Studio, the Seth Rogen show. Best Limited Series or Anthology Series was Adolescence. And I just want to say this to the young man who is one of the leads in that film. He actually won Best Supporting Actor, and it broke an Emmy record. He was the youngest person to ever win an Emmy in that category.
We should mention the ones that were nominated, though, because it's noteworthy. So Best Comedy Series, we have Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Nobody Wants This. That was my personal favorite. My wife and I love that one.
That was a great show.
Yeah, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking, and What We Do in the Shadows, and The Studio one. And then the Best Drama Series. We got to mention Andor, dude. Come on, it got some nominations. The Diplomat, The Last of Us, Paradise, Severance, Slow Horses, which is one of my wife's favorite shows, and White Lotus, and The Pit won that one. Best limited or anthology series where Adolescence was the winner. Black Mirror was nominated. Dying for Sex, Monsters, the Kyle and Eric Menendez story, and The Penguin. I was kind of hoping Penguin would have maybe won that, but we didn't get that. So who won Best Actor in Drama Series here, Kyle?
Oh, this is something. I have been a Noah Wyle fan since he played Carter on ER in season 1. It was one of the characters I just fell in love with, and I have been a fan of his ever since. And he did win for Best Actor in a Drama Series. He was up against Sterling K. Brown for Paradise, Gary Oldman for Slow Horses, Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us, and Adam Scott for Severance. I'm so happy for Noah Wyle. He kind of went a little sideways there, doing like the fun librarian films, but stuff that wasn't necessarily going to get him an Emmy nomination, and he was phenomenal in season 1 of The Pit, and this is so incredibly deserved. So
Best Actress in a Drama Series, the nominees were Kathy Bates for Matlock, Sharon Horgan from Bad Sisters, Britt Lower of Severance, Bella Ramsey for The Last of Us, and Kerry Russell in The Diplomat, and Britt Lower of Severance won.
Yeah, Severance is not a show I've gotten into yet. Everybody talks very highly of it, but
I tried watching it. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah. Well, Best Actress in a Comedy Series, Uzo Adaba from The Residents, Kristen Bell, Nobody Wants This, Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary, Io Edinburgh from The Bear, and Jean Smart was the winner from Hacks. Of course, Kevin, I think it's all safe to say I was rooting for Kristen Bell.
Yes. You've seen that show, right?
Yeah, I've watched that show. Season 2 is only a few weeks away, too.
Yeah, my wife and I have watched that, like, I think 3 times. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Best actor in a comedy series nominees were Adam Brody in Nobody Wants This, Seth Rogen in The Studio, Jason Segel in Shrinking, Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building, and Jeremy Allen White of The Bear. And Seth Rogen won for that. And I was happy that he won something finally because he's done a lot of good work. I haven't watched that studio. I tried watching it, but I just couldn't finish it. But Kyle, there's some people that were nominated and or won that aren't on this list, if I'm remembering correctly. What's her name from? God, I'm sorry. She played the mother in How I Want Your Mother. She was also in Penguin, and she was in the. Help me out, Kyle. You know who she is.
Yeah, I know who she is.
She won something, but she's not on this list you have here. Was it like supporting actress or something?
Catherine Lonaza, or no, I'm sorry, that was Catherine Lonaza won for The Pit as best supporting actress.
Who's the actress that I'm thinking about? She
Christine Milioti.
Christine Milioti. I saw her do an acceptance speech. So what did she win for?
She won Best Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie, which she won for The Penguin. She was up against Cate Blanchett, who did Disclaimer, Megan Fahey for Sirens, Rashida Jones for her episode of Black Mirror, and Michelle Williams Dying for Sex.
Yeah, because I saw her acceptance speech, and it was very sweet. Also, wasn't Harrison Ford nominated also for Shrinking?
I did not see him nominated for Shrinking, but he was not Best Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie. Colin Farrell for The Penguin, Stephen Graham from Adolescence, who he was the winner, Jake Gyllenhaal from Presumed Innocent, Brian Tyree Henry from Dope Thief, and Cooper Koch, Monsters, The Lyle and Eric Menendez Story. He's in that category.
Okay.
And then it was Owen Cooper from Adolescence, who was one of the youngest Emmy winners of all time.
I think the youngest. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's like 15, 14, something right around in there. So the Emmys here, I do have a quick question for you about the Emmys, Kevin. We know that they split it between drama and comedy, but do you ever have a problem with some of the shows they put under the comedy?
They need to stop doing that. Comedies are getting screwed in general to any awards listings all the time. Amy Poehler was on her podcast talking about how the Oscars totally hose great performances in comedies, and the Oscars only do the serious and stuff like that and dramatic roles, and they've been really, they've been annoying. They've been avoiding stunts as well, which I think they're finally going to get.
Yeah, I believe this year is the first time for stunts.
They need to make a category for comedy. They got to stop doing a comedy / music thing because, they're going to shy away from the comedy all the freaking time and annoys the hell out of me. It sucks.
Well, and like when I look at the Emmys, I do not see how The Bear, which is a show I like, but it is not a comedy. I know they're trying to roll, it's a dark comedy. No, show is a drama.
Yeah.
And it's just so wrong that it's in that category. It should be in the drama category. So yeah, that is one of my gripes with the Emmys. But Kevin, moving on, we lost a true Hollywood legend this week. The great Robert Redford passed away at the age of 89. I'm just going to give a quick rundown of some of his movies. This is not his full IMDb, but to give you an idea of the time frame and how many movies he was in that just mattered. 1969, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. 1972, Jeremiah Johnson. 1973, The Way We Were and The Sting. 1975, 3 Days of the Condor. 1976, All the President's Men. 1984, The Natural. 1985, Out of Africa. 1992, Sneakers, also 1992, A River Runs Through It. 1993, Indecent Proposal. 1998, The Horse Whisperer. 2001, The Last Castle. 2013, All Is Lost. And of course, in 2014, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. And in 2019, he reprised his role from Captain America, The Winter Soldier and was in Avengers Endgame. Kevin, what was the impact Robert Redford had on you? What were some of your favorite movies of his?
A lot of people, since he's died, have mentioned Jeremiah Johnson. I never heard of that film. friend of mine who's a cinephile like me, and he said that was his favorite film. And I was like, I haven't seen that. I got to see that now. Butch Cassidy is one of the one that really kind of put him over, I think, and one of his biggest. I'm actually a fan of 3 Days of the Condor. I really like that film.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen Sneakers in a long time, but that was brought up with a lot of people. But that was more of like a ensemble cast, though. That really wasn't like a Redford, that was his film. I think when it comes down to it, though, The Natural is the one that probably jumps out the most. If you can get over a 40-year-old guy playing like a teenager in certain scenes,
Yeah.
But I think, and he was really good in Decent Proposal. I remember that was a big deal when that movie came out. But those are the ones that jump out for me. I know people do a lot of rewatches of his movies. And I have not seen The Horse Whisperer. I have not seen The Last Castle. All of Lost. I don't even think I've seen the River Runs Through It. It just wasn't my movie to go see. So yeah.
I would definitely recommend checking out The Last Castle. I think you would like that. The Natural, for me, that was one of the first movies I remember seeing him in. That and Butch Cassidy.
Oh, The Sting too, right? Did we mention The Sting?
But one of my favorites is All the President's Men with him and Dustin Hoffman, where they played Woodward and Bernstein. That is a phenomenal film. They're great. And you know what? He was great as Pierce in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I thought he was wonderful in that movie and was brilliantly cast in that movie. But there's a lot of other things we have to give Robert Redford credit for. He was an amazing director.
Yep.
And we would not have the Sundance Film Festival if it was not for Robert Redford. He was the founder of the Sundance Film Festival.
I forget about that. That's a big deal. Is that the one that's in Vail?
Yeah, that's the one in Vail in Colorado. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, and just the last of a breed of a certain type of Hollywood actor from a different generation, from a different place, and always classy, always just had a presence about him, and just an absolutely amazing actor. And we're lucky enough to be alive during his run to see some of the amazing films he's made. And if you're younger and not seen the back catalog of Robert Redford, I strongly suggest you go out and see some of these films because they are some all-time Hollywood classics, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to check out Jeremiah Johnson. I've not seen that film. So
yeah, there you go. Well, guys, that is going to wrap up the news. So let's get into our next segment. That is right. It is time to get into the Summer Fandom Spectacular Part 2. And there's a reason why it's Part 2, which you will understand later on in this segment. But because we are talking about a bunch of summer movies and TV, guys, we're going to kind of do a little merger here, a little Frankenstein experiment, because, guys, it's time to buy it, stream it, or unsee it. We have a whole list of things here on Buy It, Stream It, or Unsee It that we have seen, both movies and TV. We got some fun discussions ahead on these. But Kevin, we haven't visited Letterboxd in a while. Of course, our good friends, we know you love that app and you always keep a good movie count. What is the movie count as it stands now in 2025?
I'm at 318 films right now. Yeah. Even did a little double feature of my Hallmark film. You know how I don't know if when you watch a movie and then all of a sudden another one just starts playing that you didn't ask for. That's what happened recently with a Hallmark film, and then like it just kept playing. And then I'm like, wait, what's this? And it's like, oh, what was it called? I was watching The Art of Falling in Love, and then I watched, without wanting to watch it, A Very Country Christmas, and it just kept playing. I'm going, okay, I kind of want to see where this goes, even though I know they're going to end up together, but I want to find out how.
It's the whole algorithm, Kevin. It just pulls you in. There's no escape. That's once you're in that Netflix hole or streaming hole or DVD hole where they just autoplay, and it's like you just.
But I'm watching films for Time Warp too, because we're talking about 1990. So
there we go. Well, let's dive into some movies that we've seen. And Kevin, the first one is a movie we both have seen, and a movie a lot of people are talking about, and that is Weapons, directed from the director of Barbarian. Kevin, I am not a huge horror movie fan. This movie was fantastic. It was creepy. It had some legitimate jump scares in it, and it was something that was a very simple plot, but yet felt like something I hadn't seen used in a long time, and I thought this movie was wonderful. What did you think of Weapons?
Yeah, it didn't go where I thought it was going to go, and that's a good thing. And if you know the story, these kids in this woman's class one night all leave and disappear except for one, and the question is why. And the why is creepy is F. And there's some great dramatic moments. Alden Ehrenreich is in this film, and he was very good as a local police officer, if I remember correctly. And
Yes.
then
I didn't even recognize him at first. Film.
And then the lead stars, we got Josh Brolin and Julie Garner. Julie Garner from Ozark. She was the teacher. And they try to figure out what the hell is happening. And it did not disappoint. It was good.
Well, big summer for Julia Garner, too, because she was also the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four.
Yeah, she was having a good month that month. So, yeah, I gave this movie 3.5 out of 5 stars in my letterbox thing. And what would you give it? A buy it, streaming, or see it for you?
Oh, it's a buy it. I was that impressed. It's one of those few horror movies I will have in my collection and revisit when the timing is right, because it was different, and that's what I liked about it.
I think it was a good movie to see on the big screen. Now that it's kind of being phased out of theaters right now, it's definitely a stream it. I can't promise I would return it to it anytime soon, just because horror movies and I aren't the big thing. But I give it for its originality, and I think it will hold a special place in horror history in the way it felt like an original horror film. There wasn't a lot of tropes in it that you would see from other horror films, and and the music was really good as well. But I'm going to give it a good stream it.
Well, a couple of things about this movie too, Kevin. They did our boy Wong bad in this movie.
Who?
Our boy Wong, Benedict Wong, who of course plays Wong in the MCU.
Gotcha.
They did him wrong. They did him wrong in this movie. And I was floored when I found out it was Amy Madigan playing Gladys.
Yeah. Amy Madigan did not look like Amy Madigan, that's for sure.
No. Now, a little interesting thing here. The director, Zach Krager, his next movie he is doing a Resident Evil film.
Are they rebooting that series, or what are they doing?
He says it's an original script he's written within the Resident Evil universe. It'll have nothing to do with any of the Milla Jovovich movies. It's more closer to the video games, he said, because he's a huge fan of video games. He had his next movie after that will be back to an original IP, but he said in a recent interview, "Yeah, I have another script out there, and all I'm going to say is it takes place in Gotham."
Takes place in what?
Gotham.
Ooh, okay. That's where Batman is.
Yeah, some guy named Wayne that hangs out there. There's some rumors about him, but Kevin, we're following up Weapons. We're not exactly in the happy movie phase, are we? Because I have not seen this yet. I'm probably going to go see it this weekend. But The Long Walk, you went and saw this, and I need to know a few things, Kevin, because this movie, it feels like to me it might be a very good movie, but I don't know if this is going to be one of those movies that you're going to want to rewatch once it's done.
Well, I know my wife was very interested in seeing it. I ended up seeing it before her because she was waiting till the Cheap Tuesday to go see it. But I wanted to get out and watch. I did a double feature with this film and another one, and I had heard about it, and it's based off, of course, a Stephen King short story. And I liked it. It was really good. It was brutal. These kids all go on a long walk, and the last one standing gets this prize at the end while the other ones are executed, if they can't make it. And you're wondering, like, okay, well, this movie's mostly dialogue then, and that's pretty much what it is. It is, but it's really good dialogue, and you really start to get some really good performances between the lead cast of the main kids that are doing this. Mark Hamill is the evil major that is escorting them along this long walk, and location shootings against the backdrop of them walking were fantastic. It was filmed up in Canada. I think Quebec or something like that. And that was also really cool. But there's the one kid that's the dick. There's the other one that's the Joker. And you got the two main guys who are trying to support each other and, keep people together. And, and then you see some kids that just can't handle it. And some of the deaths are quite brutal. I talked to my wife about it, and I asked what she thought. She said she enjoyed it. She was familiar with the book, and they did change the ending just a tad. She liked it. She had a couple of issues with it, but overall she liked it. For me, it's definitely a stream it. I don't know if I would buy it and watch it again, because it is a tough watch at times, because you're watching teenage kids get executed when they can't do it or make it or whatever. It's a brutal story, but it's a really good character development movie as well.
Okay, and I do have a question about this, Kevin, because Mark Hamill plays the villain in this. Does it feel like this movie's kind of bringing on this Mark Hamill renaissance? I've seen Mark Hamill out more for this film than I remember ever seeing him out for anything recently for Star Wars within the last 15 to 20 years.
I think he was happy to get a role that he could sink his teeth into, and he's really good in his role as the Major. He's not a nice guy, and he sinks into it, and I think he's proud of that. I think he was proud of his performance, and he should be.
This is definitely on my go see it list, and I'm hoping to maybe even this weekend get a chance to go see it. So if I do, I will be reporting back on the next episode of Culture Clash on my thoughts on this film.
There you go.
And Kevin, you literally just maybe an hour ago saw this film. Now, I've seen this film on some trailer websites. I didn't realize it was actually coming out in the theaters. I thought this was kind of like a direct to streaming kind of thing, but it's a hell of a cast. It's a movie called Afterburn.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this film, but I wasn't sure if it was like coming to streaming or what. And then one of my friends in the Highlander world and metal universe, Tammy Buckner, saw it, and she gave it a good review. And then I was looking at it going, it's like, wait a minute. It's got Dave Bautista in it, Olga Kurylenko. It's got Christopher Heavju, who we know as the red-bearded guy from Game of Thrones. What was his name in Game of Thrones?
Oh,
I can't remember his name, but he ended up becoming friends with Jon Snow. He was one of the guys that he teams up with. He's the villain in this, and next to him is Daniel Bernhardt, who I love from the John Wick movie and the Nobody films. He plays two different characters in each of those guys. He's the one guy that did defeat John Wick in the first film twice before he got help. Samuel Jackson is in it too, and so it basically it's I don't know. You have the
here after a massive
okay, good. I got it. After a massive solar flare destroys the Earth's eastern hemisphere, an emboldened treasure hunter for hire adventures to Europe to uncover the coveted Mona Lisa, only to learn the world needs a hero more than it needs a painting. So David Bautista, basically, he's kind of a treasure hunter before the world went to shit, and he kind of reminds me a little bit of Dirk Pitt, how he spend most of his time underwater searching for treasures, and when people want things, they go to him, and then after the world falls to crap, he's in London, and he's sent out on a mission by Samuel Jackson of how, and this is after kings have been toppled and governments have toppled, and these warlords are starting to take over Eastern Europe, and they send him in to try to find the Mona Lisa. So, it's definitely a low budget film. It's got some good action in it. It's got some good death scenes in it. David Bautista's fine in it. And he's good. It's worth a watch. I would give it a stream it though. I would say you have to go to the theater to see it, but it's definitely worth visiting. There's some good character moments in it and some good action in it. So
interesting. This is one I want to check out just based off the cast alone. This is a wonderful cast, but I might hold off till streaming on this, but I'm intrigued. That's for sure. But Kevin, the next movie that we're about to talk about, I have not seen it. I know you've seen it. What I'm kind of blown away by is it doesn't feel like it's gotten a lot of advertising or hype, and I can't understand why. And that movie is Spinal Tap 2: The End Continues.
I've been seeing hype on my social media, maybe because I've been clicking on it and and stuff like that, and I've been seeing promotions for the cast has been showing up at screenings and doing Q&As more than once too, and when I saw the trailer for it and some of the real rock stars that were going to be in it were great. It was a really good sequel to what I consider the original film is in my short list of perfect films, like with Aliens and Raiders of the Lost Ark and what is it? A Princess Bride and was it Galaxy Quest? Those are my short list of perfect films. The original Spinal Tap is a perfect film for me, and this was a good sequel. And they get into why they haven't been around for a while and not talking to each other. And then you have some great cameos of real rock stars, like Paul McCartney comes in, and you also get moments with Elton John, and then especially when they're calling people up to fill in the drummer spot, Chad from what is it, Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're like, nah, man, I don't want to die. Or Questlove, he doesn't want to do it either. And there's some funny scenes with that. And they're all trying to get together to play like one last like big show, whether it's their last one or not. They're trying to do a big show, and it was still really, really funny, especially with the band dynamics and everything. It was a really well done sequel. It's definitely a buy it for me. I'm going to be getting this on, whatever it is, 4K Blu-ray. And I need to update my Spinal Tap. I need to get like a new version. I know that they've released one too, and I need to get that.
Now, am I wrong? Did you see this in a double feature with the original Spinal Tap?
I saw it in a double feature, but I saw it in a double feature with The Long Walk.
Oh, okay.
So I went to The Long Walk to see that first, and then Spinal Tap after that. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And that is some,
and I needed the palate cleanse after The Long Walk.
I was gonna say
I needed some comedy, and it was a good double feature for that. So yeah.
I'm afraid to ask what the popcorn bucket would have been for either of these two films.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they had done something like that, but as far as I know, they didn't.
Well, I mean, Spinal Tap, it's an amp that goes to 11.
That would have been cool, or
yeah.
the Stonehenge or something like that, But,
yeah. Well, that kind of covers the movies we've been wanting to talk about, but there's a lot of TV, and the first one we're kicking off right out of the gate is the show pretty much everybody's talking about right now. Of course, Dan Hadley, like as we said earlier, has been covering it with the Spacebook and a special crossover here at the Fandom Podcast Network. But Kevin and I really haven't had our chance to talk about it yet because our schedules have been so busy. But Kevin, this is, as you know, has been a show that I have been incredibly excited about since they announced it. And I know you were a little skeptical maybe at first. I know how much you love Alien, but you were like, Alien on TV, I'm not sure. I need to know. Alien Earth, I need your thoughts, and I need to know what you're thinking on this.
Okay. So we have one more episode to go. And
correct. With the finale is next week.
Yeah. And I am enjoying the ride. There's been a couple episodes that have been action packed. They've been more character and plot driven. And then we got the great flashback episode of why the infamous ship crashed into Earth with all the alien specimens on it. And we're learning more about the corporate greed of the companies, like Utani and all this. Utani, by the way, Kyle, it's not Utini, it's Utani. You're saying that on the podcast. And all of the other, greedy people that are trying to get the power of these aliens. But it's funny. One of the podcasts that you were on, I forget who it was that said it, about how they were complaining about one of the scenes with the xenomorph, and you can tell it was obvious it was a guy in a suit. And in my mind, I was going like, I don't need to see these aliens hiding in the shadows anymore. Like he said that he preferred. It's like, no, this is what I love about this series is you see them up front in lighting, moving around and creating havoc in the scenes that they do. And I like the fact that we're seeing someone in a suit instead of a CG. We might be seeing some CG, but to me, it makes it even more terrifying. And I love that. But Kyle, let's be honest. What this show has done is that we know the xenomorph and the face hugger are scary sons of bitches of aliens.
They aren't the baddest alien on the planet.
I think they're being upstaged by what else they have introduced. And I almost don't want to spoil that for anyone right now in case they haven't seen it or heard about it yet, Kyle. But this show has done a great job of showing the other specimens and how smart they seem to be.
Yeah. All I'm going to say about the one specimen that you're talking about, I think somebody's about to do something really epically stupid with that specimen. And I won't go into any spoilers, but that's just my thought for the finale.
I just want to mention I'm enjoying this ride. I would definitely buy it if this series came out on like a Blu-ray or whatever. I tend to purchase it on, Apple, whatever it is, and own the season if I can. But I just want to give a shout out, by the way, Kyle. I've been wanting to do this for a while. My good friend Randy Martinez, who is a good friend of both Kat and I, has this one really great piece of art here that is basically the Aliens art, where it shows Ripley with the Queen alien behind her. And it's a limited run that he did here. And I finally got it from him. He sent it to me, and he even signed it at the bottom right here. But it's a really good piece of art. If you're interested in Randy Martinez, check out his website. He does a lot of great Star Wars artwork, as well as superheroes and sci-fi in general. So shout out to Randy Martinez.
Speaking of shout outs, I do want to give a couple actor shout outs for this series. Babu Sise, who plays the cyborg Morrow, is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he is.
So,
yeah.
He is amazing. And of course, you have Timothy Olyphant in the show. You never go wrong with him. I mean,
Timothy's great in this series, man. Oh, God.
But I want to shout out the lead character in this, Sydney Chandler, who is the daughter of Kyle Chandler. Yeah. I think she has been absolutely amazing in this show. She has a very unique look to her. How they've kind of carried her out, I think, has been very well done. And then what happens in episode 7 with her is just spectacular.
Listening to Dan Hadley's Alien Watch podcast that we brought up earlier, and seeing and hearing his thoughts on the show and some of the other shows, there's been some criticism with this show for some reasons. And there is some characters that I'm not a fan of that are a little annoying. But I look past that because of the overall plot line that we're getting laid out for us, because this takes place before the original Alien film does. But it gives you a different perspective of what the cast of Alien thought they were out there to do when they were being manipulated behind the scenes of accidentally or not so accidentally trying to find other species out there or other versions of these species. So, yeah.
There's one thing I'm going to say, Kevin, is that if you do watch the show and you use the method to count sheep to help you fall asleep, if you watch the show, you might want to change your method. That's all I'm going to say about that. But Kevin, the next thing I want to talk about, as much as I love Alien Earth, and it's a buy it for me, I would buy it if it becomes available. But the next thing we're going to talk about, Kevin, might be my favorite TV show of the year. It might be one of my favorite properties in fandom right now, just period. And that is, we finally got season 2 of Wednesday. Kevin, I am in love with this show. It gives me a lot of Buffy vibe to it. Jenna Ortega owns the Wednesday Addams role at this point. And all I'm going to say right now, Netflix, if you are listening, I am imploring you, at least give me a spin-off movie with Uncle Fester.
Stole my thunder there, dude.
or we can even call the movie Fester Fiesta.
Yeah, Wednesday season 2 knocked it out of the park. I enjoyed the first season a lot, but this one really got into it, especially when you get to learn more about the Addams family itself, and with Morticia and Gomez and Pugsley. They all have meaty roles in this series, and you learn a little history about everyone, including Thing the Hand. And there's some great character moments in this. There is a Buffy / kind of Harry Pottery, but darker vibe going on with all the witchcraft and creatures and everything. And it's really, really cool. The costumes are great. I've never been a big fan of Danny Elfman music because I think he plagiarizes himself, but he does a great job with this series as the music. It fits. And Tim Burton has done a really good job of creating this world and with the costumes and the characters, and it's definitely one of the best TV shows this summer.
The thing about the show too is it is one of the perfect examples of when you let Tim Burton be creative but put some control on him too, the magic that can come out of Tim Burton when he does have some good writers there with him to kind of keep him from going too far out there, because this has just the perfect amount of Tim Burton in it. He even gets in some of his stop motion animation in this season. Like you said, this is some of the better Danny Elfman score work we've had in a very long time. Everybody on this cast is spectacular. Steve Buscemi adds a great role this season.
Steve was great as the head master or whatever they call
Yeah,
it.
the new principal of the school.
He's the Dumbledore of this school, but not in a good way.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier. I love the fact that in this season they incorporated the entire Addams family. I needed a little more Lurch, but they gave Luis Guzman as Gomez, and then Catherine Zeta-Jones was huge as Morticia in this season, and they were both spectacular.
And as you mentioned earlier, Fred Armistad as Uncle Fester was fantastic. He's not in every episode, but when he comes in, he kills it.
Oh, I mean, he nails it. And actually, a little minor spoiler alert here. There is a setup at the end of this season that indicates that we might get some road trip adventures with Wednesday, Fester, and Thing. These are my 3 favorite characters on this show. Yeah, I need that all season for season 3, guys. Come on, make it happen.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
But yeah, no, Wednesday is a buy it. You need to go watch this show.
I have the first season on Blu-ray. I'll buy the second one if they release it. So yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Kevin. They broke it up into 2 4-part episode releases. I marathoned all 4 episodes the night it came out. It was that good. I just got caught up in it, and it's wonderful. It's one of the best things on TV, streaming network or otherwise right now. So definitely buy it for Wednesday, or she might put a crossbow bolt through your heart. I'm just saying. But next up, Kevin, John Cena is back. James Gunn is back. We have Peacemaker season 2 on HBO. There's been a little controversy with this particular season of Peacemaker for one big
controversy.
Reason.
What controversy are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know. The fact that because James Gunn wanted Superman out on digital before Peacemaker season 2 came out, they kind of rushed the digital release of Superman because there are legitimate connections between Peacemaker and Superman, the movie. And Kevin, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've enjoyed this season. I think it's gotten better as it's gone along, but it's still not season 1. And James Gunn, I'm going to tell you right now, you better change the theme song back to the season 1 theme song for season 3, because that's been the opening. I love the dance number, but the song selected just takes me out. It takes me out of the show just enough that it takes me another 10 minutes to get back into it after watching the opening sequence.
Yeah, the opening sequence of season 1 was so good. I never hit the, button to fast forward through it, and it was so good. And I can't stand the new song. I don't even think the dance sequence is good either. I fast forward through it. I hit that button to pass through it. It's just, I had trouble. And I'll be honest, I had trouble going back into the show after I saw the first episode because it was kind of a downer, And there was some other stuff I was enjoying more, like Wednesday and stuff like that. And I actually had to kind of push myself to watch it. And once I started watching it, I ended up catching up through it, a horrible Monday night football game with my Raiders on national television, getting their asses kicked. And I eventually got caught up to the newest episode and actually enjoyed it. So I'm fascinated to see where it goes. But I can't stand that opening song. It sucks ass.
I'm with you there. There's some great music choices within the series, season itself.
Yes. They got the hard rock stuff going on, and I do enjoy the soundtrack they've been doing. Just don't enjoy the opening. I want them to go back to the old song.
And I got to give some love to Frank Grillo, who's returning as Rick Flag in this, and which is tying into events that happened in the second Suicide Squad film. He's been great in this season. Tim Meadows,
also in Superman.
Yeah, and Superman as well. Yes, but Kevin, I love Tim Meadows in this. Peacemaker.
I'm not there. He's funny, but I'm not there yet with his character.
Yeah, I can see that. But if I'm going to be honest with you, the true star of this season is the prime Eagle himself, Eagly.
Eagly rocks. We love Eagly.
Yeah, they scared me a little in the last episode. I was like, oh no, they didn't. I know they didn't. I like you, Rooker, but oh no, you didn't. But
yeah.
I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Cena has been wonderful in this season, and he's a busy guy right now. He's in his last week. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, I'll finish your thought, but I got a thought.
As I was saying, Cena is wonderful in this role. He's really busy. This been really busy this year promoting this. He is in his last few months of his professional wrestling career, as he has officially announced his retirement at the end of the year. His last wrestling match will be in December on Saturday night's main event. But Cena's just great in this role, and we found out recently James Gunn actually wrote Peacemaker for Dave Bautista, and even Dave Bautista goes, "I am so glad Cena." He couldn't do it because he was filming that Netflix film at the time, the zombie film, and Cena got the role, and he said, "I couldn't have done what Cena's done with this," and I think Cena's been brilliant in this, and I think Cena has been even better this season as Peacemaker than he was in the first season.
Yeah, I love that he loves this character so much. He shows up on talk shows as the character, or at least dressed up as a character. You know, he has no shame about that, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. And I brought this up before on our discussions, and I was having a similar discussion with a coworker of mine. John Cena is having the career that The Rock should have had.
Yeah, I won't argue that point, and I'm just going to say this too, James Gunn, you are a lucky man.
Yes.
Peacemaker for season 2 for me is still a buy. I still have fun with this show. Yes, it started off a little slow, but it's going now, and the chaos that's going to ensue, I think, in these final few episodes is going to be epic. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. But up next, Kevin, I have not seen this yet. I want to see it. It's on my list. But speaking of lists, the Terminal List sequel or prequel, I guess. Is it a prequel?
Yep. It's a prequel. Yep.
Dark Wolf. And I know you've seen this.
Yeah. So it's still not finished yet, but it is. I think it's on its second to last episode right now. Now, just if you haven't seen the first Terminal List with Chris Pratt, it's based on a story written by a real like Navy SEAL warrior, and I think he has a cameo in the first movie as well. The first series with Chris Pratt was fantastic, and in the film or in the series, as a friend of his is Taylor Kitsch. He plays an ally in the film, and you see what happens is when in the first season you see Chris Pratt's character getting revenge on a company that was taking advantage of and giving these soldiers of his this so-called medicine or whatever it is, and it backfired, and they tried to kill everybody to cover their tracks. Chris Pratt, of course, survives. He gets really dark with his family, and he gets revenge. And you get to see an origin story of Taylor Kitsch's character, who is a friend of his in that first season, a prequel series of him being a warrior basically in the Gulf War or Afghanistan with Chris Pratt, and then what happens when he has to leave that and he gets picked up by the CIA and does some missions and some of the shit that happens with that. And Chris Pratt has a small role to kind of do the connective tissue of what happens early on, and then you get to see Taylor Kitsch just be awesome. And I'm really enjoying this series. It's a little dark. Some great action in it, great intrigue, and there's good spy. You know, it's got kind of a spy thing going on, and the cast is very good.
I'm looking forward to this. I love the first season.
Definitely stream it. Check it out. Make sure, Kyle, you check out the first season.
I've seen the first season. I loved it.
Oh, you have seen it. Okay, good. It's a really, really good series. I've been trying to get people. I had my wife watch it. She really liked it, and she's enjoying this series. I think she's got a crush on Taylor Kitsch. She keeps calling him Gambit.
Yeah, where did that come from? I hear a lot of women too call him his name from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. Well, she liked him in the Wolverine movie as Gambit, which I did too.
Yeah, he was good in that. Well, Kevin, the last thing on the list is something that came out recently, and I actually finished watching it this morning.
Oh wow! Okay, so you've seen it. Okay.
So I have some thoughts. Is the Netflix documentary, aka Charlie Sheen. Now, Charlie Sheen has been kind of making a reappearance into the media landscape. He has written a book to tie in with this documentary, and he's been doing the tour. And actually, how I found out about this documentary, I saw a few ads for it, but I got a little bit more in depth with it. He did an interview on Real Time with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher on that show always opens up with a sit-down one-on-one interview with somebody, and he did that with Charlie Sheen. And hear Charlie talk about some of the things that are in the book and the documentary made me really intrigued to see this. And Kevin, I only have really one big question for you. How in the hell is Charlie Sheen still alive?
They address that in the documentary because he opens up about everything, and he has some of his closest friends interviewed, including Sean Penn, including his drug dealer. including his ex-wife,
Denise Richards.
Denise Richards, and his other ex-wife, and his long friend. The only people that declined to come on was Emilio Estevez and his father,
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, yeah. He opens up about everything. He even addresses the Corey Feldman allegations of Corey Feldman accusing him of stuff, with him getting HIV and all the being paid an insane amount of money for 2.5 Men. No one has ever been paid as much money as he has been paid.
$2 million an episode.
Yeah, no one has been paid that since. It was crazy how that movie was running. I really liked how he talked about how he got into it. And seeing all of his early home videos, of him
the Super 8 tapes. Yeah, those were great.
Yeah, the action movie Super 8 stuff he was doing because he was watching his father do it. And the movie that really catapulted him was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he meets Jennifer Grey in the police station, and how that kind of pushed him into another stratosphere, and he was very forthcoming about everything, and he didn't shy away from any of it. At least that's the feeling I got. What do you think, Kyle?
I think with any kind of documentary like this, there could have been some sugarcoating, and there still might have been in certain ways. But the thing I really credit about this documentary is they had people on who had every reason to just absolutely hate Charlie Sheen. Denise Richards has absolutely every reason to hate Charlie Sheen,
including the producer of 2.5 Men. What's his name? They had him on. One that
John Cryer. John Cryer had a lot of reasons as well. And what I found was anybody who they had on, for all the beef they could have had with Charlie Sheen, none of them really spoke with hatred for Charlie Sheen. The result, Denise Richards said flat out, "I still love him. But she can't be with him." And I think John Cryer was very diplomatic, but I think he was very honest too. Sean Penn had some very interesting things to say. I think the two most interesting people, though, to me, that they interviewed were his friend Tony Todd, not that Tony Todd, but a friend of his that is completely drug and alcohol free and has been his whole life, but has stood by Charlie Sheen through everything. They were childhood friends. He was living with Charlie Sheen, staying in the room next to his, praying he wasn't going to find him dead. And one morning, looking out of him, that guy should be up for sainthood, to be honest with you. And I think the other most intriguing interview was his drug dealer. Yes. Who talks about helping get him off drugs by decreasing the potency of his drugs and slowly weaning them off them.
Yes. Yes. And how much money that guy was making at certain nights. It was just crazy. Just crazy.
I mean, they even got Heidi Fleiss on this documentary, which
he had to go to court to testify against her,
But there are some things in here too, Kevin, that it doesn't surprise me now learning some of this stuff, that Charlie Sheen is the way he is. No 11-year-old should have been on the Apocalypse Now set.
Yeah. I mean, he's not that much older than we are, right, Kyle? Would you say?
No, I think he's only a couple of years older than.
I he's one of those guys that he makes some mistakes, but people find a way to root for him. And when he was when he got fired from 2.5 Men, and he did the the Tiger Blood and the Winning thing, which
that whole tour with that.
Yeah, he just admitted that was just a train wreck, and he wasn't listening to the right people and all that kind of stuff. And he was back on the drugs again. You still had people wanting to see him turn things around and do things, and honestly, I don't see him alive in the next 20 years. I really don't.
No, if he makes it another 10, I will honestly be shocked because the effects of the amount of drugs, and he's very blunt about how much drugs he has done. The effects on his body have
Sean Penn was interesting when he said that he felt like Charlie Sheen just has a certain fortitude that most people don't have, and that's why he's still alive.
One of the most interesting lines I think Sean Penn said, though, was when he was talking about cocaine, and he talks about, cocaine's an interesting drug because it really opens your sexual fantasies, but it usually affects men physically in a negative way.
Yeah,
and he said, except for Charlie Sheen. In fact, flip it for Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, definitely. But it was interesting to see him go through his career and the trajectory of what was going to happen. And I forgot that he was on Spin City, and that was the he was taking over for Michael J. Fox. It was
that was huge at the time.
And I didn't really watch that show, but I remember the news of when it did happen, and that was a big turning point for him. He was trying to get clean again, and then that eventually, and he was doing TV, which he thought he wouldn't do, and then that eventually turned into 2.5 Men, which became one of the biggest shows in the world.
Well, and you have to remember when he did Spin City, his female co-star was Heather Locklear.
Yeah.
Oh. And there was a great episode that Martin Sheen came on of Spin City that was phenomenal and really touching. And I think it was a lot more father-son moment than...
Yeah, Martin Sheen played his character's father in that. So
yeah,
if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's amazing how much stuff they've actually done together over the years when you go back and look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll be covering a Sheen film on 1990 Time Warp, The Rookie, with Clint Eastwood.
And Clint Eastwood is mentioned in this documentary too in a very powerful way. But Kevin, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the thing that I had forgotten about, and it blew my mind to remember it, was the fact that Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen played a 2-on-1 game of basketball against Michael Jordan.
I did not know at all. It was for charity or promotion.
It was a sports show Dick Van Patten did where the celebrities went up against professional athletes, and Charlie was really good at basketball.
Yeah,
and
he was. And he and his dad went up against Michael Jordan, the greatest. Yeah,
and they beat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might pick up this book because I'm sure there's a lot more details in the book than there even was in this documentary. I'm gonna see, but
what was this streaming on again? I forgot.
This was on Netflix. This is a Netflix documentary.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, and
I kind of like the fact too. There's a point in this documentary where you see you hear the director say everybody needs to leave the room, and it was. And everybody was real respectful and they left, and it was just him and Charlie. And that's when Charlie opened up about things he has never talked about before. And the reason why they did that is he didn't want, neither he nor the director wanted other people even risking saying anything about that until it was the documentary and the book had come out.
And there was a sweet moment where you could tell Denise Richards was having a tough time. She started to break down. And the director was saying, "Would you like me to stop?" She says, "No, it's a documentary. Let her roll." And she was crying, because of what in particular she was talking about with her relationship with Charlie Sheen. I gotta tell you though, Denise Richards, she wasn't looking great, and she sounded completely different. She's been through some issues herself. So yeah.
I know she's had some medical and personal issues, and she was.
This docu is in 2 parts, about an hour each, hour and a half each. About So it's about a 3-hour total documentary, if I remember correctly. Right? Yeah.
One of the things I want to mention that I thought was really touching is what seems to be wonderful relationship Charlie Sheen has with his children now.
Yeah, especially that one daughter they interview. Yeah.
Yeah. And
he's had like three daughters, I think, right? Or 4 daughters or something. But
they were interviewing one of his sons, and I was just laughing at the post-it notes Charlie Sheen would leave for his son.
Yeah.
You got to watch it to understand it. It was hilarious. Guys, this is definitely a stream it. If you grew up watching Charlie Sheen through the 80s and in the 90s and even in the 2000s, this is a buy it. Just to get this experience, because
definitely stream it.
Yeah, for sure stream it. It was a phenomenal documentary.
We grew up with him watching these films,
So what was your first Charlie Sheen movie that you remember?
I mean, you could count. The one I first remember him in was probably Ferris Bueller, but the one that stands out for me is Red Dawn.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Red Dawn. Honestly, Red Dawn and Navy SEALs for a long time were like the two that really.
Yeah, and then Major League is one of my all-time favorites. With him.
Yeah, Rick Vaughn in Major League is
he's so good.
One of my all-time.
And of course, we watched the Hot Shots and the Hot Shots Part Deux. So yeah.
Part Deux. I think we have something going on with that. I don't know, but this was a phenomenal documentary, guys. But that is going to wrap up everything we've seen for our Summer Fandom Summer Spectacular Part Duel.
Yes. Before you go, though, I just want to say, is there anything that is coming up that you're excited about? The reason why I bring it up is because I'm really excited for season 3 of Tulsa King. I really enjoy that Sylvester Stallone gangster series. My dad enjoys it too. I have my dad rewatching Boardwalk Empire right now on the HBO Max. But that's a series that I was looking forward to. That's coming up soon. Do you have anything coming up, movie or streaming wise, looking forward to?
It's funny you should mention that. Let me hit the magic transition button.
All right.
Hot topics, ladies and gentlemen, or as we refer to it, bomb it from orbit, because it's the only way to be sure. I have some thoughts here, Kevin, and I am looking at the slate of movies that is coming out for the rest of this year, and
I don't see what you're looking at, so you got to tell me.
Well, no, it's just I just have the hot topics slide up. I don't actually have a slide for this because there's nothing. The point of it is there's nothing that has me incredibly super excited right now, Kevin. If I'm being honest, Avatar, yeah, I'll go see it, and I've enjoyed both Avatar films, but I'm not like, oh my god, it's the new Avatar film. There is nothing docket that I see on the rest of the year that has me going, I absolutely can't wait to see this. I am a huge Tron fan. I do have my ticket for Tron Ares, but I'm skeptical of this film. I'm going because I want to see the visuals on the big screen and I want to hear that Nine Inch Nails soundtrack. Right. I am not a huge Jared Leto fan. I'm not real happy that Bruce Boxleitner or Garrett Hedlund are in this film.
Right.
And so, but I'm going for the visuals. I'm going because I love the universe of Tron. But there's nothing that's got me just like, oh my god, I cannot wait to see that, Kevin. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Does that mean we're going to get some stuff later on in early 2026 that I'm excited about? I don't know. And are we still kind of feeling the effects of COVID and the writer strike and how things are coming out? Yes, I will say this. Something I'm at least intrigued by is we're getting the finale of Stranger Things. But that has gone on for so long and dragged out for so long. I feel like it's not having the impact that it should have.
Yeah, I was doing a little search here of what's coming out because I don't know. I don't know. Stranger Things. Yeah, we'll see it when it comes out, but we haven't seen any trailers of it or anything, so I don't know what to get. What to look forward to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, what big movies are coming out that we know of this year? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's it. And I'm like, did we shoot all the big stuff out this summer? I mean, we had a great blockbuster summer with Superman, Fantastic Four, a new Jurassic film, some great films like Primitive War, which snuck up on everybody. And if you have a chance to still go see that in your theaters, guys, please go see that. It's worth the movie theater experience.
I'm not excited about Wicked 2. I saw the new trailer for the Leonardo DiCaprio film, One Battle After Another. I'll probably go see that. That looks interesting. You know what? I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to, actually, Kyle, is The Running Man. You and I are going to be in Atlanta. I'm going to be out there visiting my daughter, Camille. You're going to be coming up and visiting. I'm actually excited about that. I want to see that. And Lacey will probably go with us to go see that. My wife will be with us. There's the Frankenstein movie too. Is that the Del Toro film?
Yeah, that's coming straight to Netflix. But I've heard mixed reviews on that, so I'm not sure.
I have not, but I'll watch it because it's supposed to have like a lot of practical effects in it. So, but I mean, it's not like no big blockbustery stuff out that I'm really kind of wondering. I mean, obviously I'm going to go see the Avatar movie because I like the Avatar movies. But yeah.
I have one other final hot take, and this was news that just broke yesterday. I am a huge fan of the Muppets, and I love the Muppets. I always have. I've always just thoroughly enjoyed the Muppets. I am definitely a person who believes that ever since Disney bought the Muppets have not been done justice. They've been kind of made secondary. They've just taken out the ride at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
And it has been announced, however, that before I do go further in my rant, hello to our good friend Ghostbusters Quick Response Unit.
What's up, Chris? So
Yes.
how did I get here in time just for the end? Chris, is there anything you're looking forward to in the fall when it comes to movies or TVs? We were trying to pinpoint some things here, and it's been tough. It really has. Usually we know what's coming out by now because the summer's ending now. We're in September. And, The Running Man we're excited about, and Tron's coming out soon, Tron Ares. But yeah, it's been weird,
Yeah, it's been very. Here's how weird it's been, Kevin. The #1 movie in the U.S. box office last week was a special edition anime film from an anime called Demon Slayer, which is an incredibly good and very popular anime.
My daughter Camille loves Demon Slayer, so yeah.
It was the #1 movie in America last week. $70 million.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. Yeah.
And Chris responds, Tron, maybe. I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. It's like, I don't know. But I want to get back to the Muppets, Kevin, because what I'm intrigued about by this announcement is they're planning to do a special 50th anniversary Muppet Show special, which blows my mind. But Seth Rogen is doing it. And not only is Seth Rogen doing it, Sabrina Carpenter is going to be the host of this. And they are hoping it's going to be a backdoor spinoff to relaunch the Muppet Show. Now, I have a lot of faith that Seth Rogen could actually get this done. And all I'm asking is, please, Disney, just let the Muppets be the Muppets and let us enjoy them. Because I love the Muppets, and I feel it's been so long since I've seen the Muppets truly be what they are. And the Muppets are crazy, fun. One of my all-time favorite Muppets is Beaker. Yeah. I love the Muppets. Please give me some good Muppets with that. And so with that, between the Muppets and give me something to get excited about this fall and holiday season, guys. This is what I have to say.
I did get some news today on social media. I was happy. The news that they're going to start. They're filming the sequel to Spaceballs 2.
Yeah, I did see that.
Chris says, "I'm with you, Kyle. Love Muppets as well as I do." Yeah, but the fact that we knew that we were going to get Rick Moranis out of retirement for this, which I think is great. But it's also noted that we're also going to get Lone Star and Princess Vespa back as well, which I think is great.
And even better with that Spaceballs movie, they have cast John Candy's son to play Barf.
Yeah. Or at least maybe his Barf's son or something.
Or something like that. And I will say this. I don't want to say I'm excited about this, but I'm looking forward to this, even though I know it's going to be heart-wrenching, is the John Candy documentary that's coming out.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to seeing that. But guys, we want to thank you for joining us for our part 2 of our Summer Fandom Spectacular. There's some great stuff out there. Go check it out. And very cool. I'm jealous of you. Bruce is a great guy. I'm glad you got to meet him, Chris. So many good things he's done. Wait a minute. They're all coming in at the end of the show, Kevin, because Din just popped in, our good friend Din from F105. We hope you're doing well. I
like that he says, "Hey, hosers," and I want to let Din know something, by the way. I still got mini Din right here that you gave me in person. Check it out. There's mini Din. Look at that. He lives right over here by my podcast area. So good to see you, Din.
Great to have you here, Din. But yeah, there's so many good things out there. Definitely go check it out. We've had a lot of fun talking about them. We got some very fun things planned here on the Fandom Podcast Network for the rest of the year. We're going to have some fun things happening with Culture Clash. We're bouncing around a few ideas. You never know what is going to happen around here. Even when I do forget to feed the kaiju, it's still fun.
So will we see this so-called, Mando and Grogu trailer that I've been teasing about? Are we going to see it in front of Tron? Or are we going to see it before Tron? It's going to be
that's the rumor right now, is that it might.
I tell you, they should drop it because we really need some new Star Wars, something to sink our teeth into.
We did get a picture of Starfighter, Ryan Gosling on set filming Starfighter.
Yeah, it's not enough. We need some moving. Yeah. We need some moving images. Come on.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is the Fandom Podcast Network. You've joined us for Culture Clash Live, episode 284, our Summer Fandom Spectacular Part 2. And of course, this is Culture Clash on the Fandom Podcast Network. You can find us both on YouTube. And if you've been watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. We love you guys. And thanks to Ghostbusters and Din for commenting in.
Yeah.
It's always appreciated. We love it when you guys join the show and give us your comments. It makes the show that much more fun for us and hopefully more fun for you guys as well. Scan that QR code on your screen. It'll take you to the FPNet homepage at fpnet.podbean.com where you can find 10 plus years of audio podcasts.
And just a reminder for you Star Trek fans, we are going to be, as we teased earlier, we're going to be discussing all of the Q episodes from the 80s through the 2001 through TNG, DS9, and Star Trek Voyager appearances. We're going to be doing them Monday nights live at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you check in for that.
And there you go, Kevin. He's got his Tron 3D in Laser IMAX 3D for Tron. So
who does? Got to say the name, Kyle.
Then does.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be looking for this in IMAX 3D as well, or at least in 3D. I got to see this movie in 3D. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now if they would just start putting out 3D TVs again. Kevin,
I know, right?
Kevin needs more 3D TVs.
I got my one working one. So, yeah.
And, of course, you can find the Fandom Podcast Network all over the social media. We're on Facebook with all of our groups for our shows. We're on Twitter at FanPod Network. We're on Blue Sky at FanPod Network. You can find us on Instagram and Threads as well. Kevin and I are also floating around on Discord. You can find me on social media. Of course, I'm Kyle. You can find me on Twitter at AKyleW, on Blue Sky at AKyleW. You can find me on Facebook at Kyle Wagner or all over our Facebook groups. And you can find me on Instagram and Threads at AKyleFandom. Kevin, where can people find you on the socials?
You can find me at Spartan_Phoenix on all the socials, including Blue Sky at Spartan Phoenix.
And of course, too, our great relationship with TeePublic, where you can find all the gear of the Fandom Podcast Network. They always have sales going on. I think they've got a big one going on right now. They have t-shirts, mugs, hats, backpacks, bags, tapestries, pillows, all kinds of stuff. Yes, we do get a little bit of kickback. It just kind of helps keep the podcast lights on and keeps the kaiju in the basement fed and the Tesseract powered up for true believers, because Tesseract gas is getting expensive. I'm just saying. I want to thank everybody for joining us, whether you're listening on the audio podcast, watching on YouTube TV. It's always a pleasure to bring Culture Clash.
Thanks for joining the chat, too, guys. Appreciate you.
And I think it's safe to say we have done this thing. This has been part 2 of the Culture Clash Fandom Summer Fandom Spectacular. That QR code is back on your screen. Give it a scan. And as we like to say here every time, first of all, personally, happy birthday to my brother Kevin. I know it's a little bit belated, but we love you. You're a little older, you're a little wiser, and you're filled with just a little bit more fandom now.
Yeah.
And you know what? Thank you to all of our wonderful listeners out there. And as always, as we like to say, respect each other. And most importantly, above all else, enjoy your fandom. We have done this thing and we are out of here. We will see you next time.